Or Palatane's little messenger boy. And Max, it's always a pleasure.
Sorry I'm late. I had other business to attend to.
Wait, you two know each other? Look at the size of that squadron!
Medusa certainly is ambitious.
Aren't you worried at all?
Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give you another very exciting collection reflection video where I take the time out just to go through my whole entire gaming library, whether it be a game, it could be a limited edition, it could be a console. Just pull something off the shelf to talk about with y'all each and every week. And for the topic for this week is going to be none other than Kid Icarus Uprising, because there's a reason why this Nintendo 3DS game launched very early on within the life cycle for this system. And I would go out to say and go out on a limb and say that yes, this is definitely by far one of my most favorite Nintendo 3DS games, period, point blank. And there's a reason why for this whenever you consider the fact that Sakurai himself, the creator of Super Smash Bros. Series, when he went through and developed this game, there's a reason why I like this game so much though. But that's going to basically be the topic for today's video right here. So if you really like this, make sure you go and hit that like button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. Kid Icarus Uprising, man, you're one of the most interesting, unique 3DS games, at least from a first-party standpoint coming from Nintendo themselves, though. When you consider the fact that Sakurai himself, the creator of Super Smash Bros. Series, made this game, and the fact that we have not gotten another Kid Icarus game, gosh, since like the NES era, though, I was like, I wasn't expecting a lot. But what I turned around and got was like a whole freaking lot though. So let's go ahead and, break in the story time right here real quick though. So at least within the Kid Icarus series, I really had no experience with the series at all whatsoever though. I think that for a lot of people out there, unless you're like a really old person, probably in their 30s or something like that, you probably don't have a lot of experience with Kid Icarus either though. I think for a lot of people, their introduction to Hit as a character didn't happen until Super Smash Bros. Brawl, whenever he was first introduced in that game. I was looking at that game, I was like, I was like, that's a first-party character? From what game? I was like, what the heck? And then lo and behold, he managed to get brought back into Super Smash Bros. 4 for Wii U and 3DS as well, though. However, at that point, they managed to give us this game called Kid Icarus Uprising. I remember even within like the old, I guess you could say the trailers and stuff for that game, I remember he was like, sorry to keep you waiting, because like it's literally been over a decade since we had the last iteration within the Kid Icarus Uprising, or the Kid Icarus series. I shouldn't say Uprising. Uprising is the name of this game, no. And gosh by golly, I remember seeing that trailer and seeing Pit kind of fly around and stuff, shooting and stuff. And then I guess when you have that 3D scope on, you can have him like popping out of the environment and having that 3D effect of you just going around shooting different enemies and stuff. It wasn't just shooting up in the sky. You're actually able to fight on the ground and stuff. That just really piqued my curiosity so much when I was little, to the point where I was like, you know what? I was gonna plan to go to my grandparents' house, usually over the summer, because you have school, and then over summer break, parents are trying to figure out something for you to do. So they say, hey, take you down to your grandparents for like a week or two or something like that. And I think I managed to save up just enough money on the side where I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this funds. I'm going to go down there with my grandma, and she's going to take me to Walmart, and I'm going to buy this game. Because you know how it is with your family and stuff. Your grandparents tend to spoil you a little bit more so because, they're not actually living with you 24/7 versus your parents and stuff who kind of, rein you in just a little bit more though. So I knew if I asked my parents if I wanted to buy this game, the chances could be more likely to no, versus my grandma who would say yes. So I took up my money and managed to go into a Walmart back then and managed to buy this game. And I'll have to say, I never regretted this purchase right here. Now that I think about it, this might have been the first game I might have bought with my own money. Because usually back in the day, when you're little and stuff, like the only times we really ever got games was either if it was our birthday or if it was Christmas. And you'd be lucky to borrow one of your siblings games that they managed to get for their birthday or their Christmas gift or whatever though. So usually that's the only way how we usually would get games though. And I think this game came out like around if I'm not mistaken, was it March or something like that? Don't quote me on it though, but I felt like it was like it was either March or something like that, and I managed to pick it up in the summer or something like that. I can't remember exactly what though, but nonetheless though, I never regretted this purchase. Now I remember just going through this game, and they had several different unique levels and stuff like that. And I remember you were fighting your way up into the part where you fought Medusa, and I thought that was the final boss of the game. And I was like, oh, okay. I beat it. The credits started rolling and stuff, and I was like, oh man, that was a really, really good experience right there. But dog, that was so short. I guess I'm gonna have to play through it again. Then Hades just rips the credits off the corner, and he's like, hey, you thought you were done? And something on the lines of that. I was like, what the heck? That's the first time I ever been psyched out in a game like that. And that's just the reason why I think Hades is like one of my most favorite Nintendo villains right there. Just the pure comedy and stuff that he manages to bring forward to the table within this series though. I just love it so much. And I think one of the reasons why I like it so much is because of the voice acting. Like, this whole entire game was voice acted from start to finish. Like, Pit, Palutena, you got Hades and stuff like that. You got other different, side enemies and stuff that happen to come up in here though. Bit 2, which was kind of interesting. Like, I guess he's like your Luigi to your Mario, but not necessarily. More like a little bit more of an anti-hero though. So there's a little bit of spin on that though. Along with a whole bunch of other characters as well though. I would say that, the cast of characters within this was really cool. They even made some small little nods and stuff to the original couple of games as well though. So there was some really cool, nice little stuff like that. And I think with the voice acting, I think it definitely helped out a whole bunch with this because of the fact that you were just going around shooting all of this stuff. Like, you didn't have time necessarily to always read every little thing that happened to show up on the screen because there were so many things going on there for it though. And you know what, with all things considered, I think that this helped with the immersion of the game as well though. So that was all some really nice stuff. Now in terms of the gameplay and stuff, it was unique because obviously you're moving your hand with your left thumb, move as that circle pad to move Pit around, right? And then you also were using your stylus to also kind of turn your camera and stuff like that though, because you didn't have dual sticks on the system though. So it's kind of interesting playing the game like that. I was like, oh, this is actually a little bit weird right there. I mean, I think I remember playing that game with, they managed to drop this game and actually had like a stand holder for it where you hold your 3DS on that stand. That way you didn't have to worry about, having your hands cramped or playing in a weird position. The controls in this game was probably the most weirdest, wackiest thing, the thing that you probably didn't like that much with this game. But if you can manage to get around it, there was a gold mine within this game, I would say, through and through though. Now, at least when I was playing that game, I was playing it on my knee. Like, I have my, hold the 3DS with my left hand, stylus in my right hand though. I had my knee up and I was just playing that thing like that just to hold it. Cause I was like, I'm not gonna put the stand on a table and have to sit down in a chair to play this game every single time. No. Now that's just not how I'm gonna do it. But yeah, and I think I remember there was like a thing called a Circle Pad Pro, which you can also attach up in there. And if you did manage to do that, that would allow you to play it the reverse way though. So, you can play it that way, or you can play with button style movement and stuff. So there was a couple different ways to do it though, but I always like the stylus with you moving with the left circle pad though. Now the music in this game, that was also really incredible. I still can't get Dark Pit's theme out of my head though. I don't know, the music was really good in this game. Like, there's nothing to really snuff about. I sometimes go back and listen to that music within the OST for this game, even until this day though. And I don't know, it's just something about the overall vibe and stuff we managed to get from Kid Icarus. This is one of the reasons why this game was so good. I really want it to be brought over to the Nintendo Switch. And if for some reason, if it doesn't manage to get brought over, because we're starting to see a little bit more 3DS games be brought over and remastered and brought up to the Switch, maybe the Switch 2 happens to do this though. But I think one other major component I really liked about this game was the online mode up in it. Like, I'm just saying, like, the online mode was sick. I can't tell you how many hours I put up on this thing though. I mean, because when you think of online 3DS games, most people will probably think about maybe a little bit of fighting games here and there though. A lot of people would associate Mario Kart 7. Obviously, that was a big one. Maybe Smash Bros. For 3DS, though. But for me personally, I think I put the most hours within Kid Icarus Uprising for the Nintendo 3DS online right there because you had a few different things, but I think the one mode I liked the most was like the capture the flag, which they did their own little spin on it though, where it was like you had X amount of players on one team, you had X amount of players on another team though, and you will fight and duke it out. And then at like one point during the match, they'll randomly select two different people, one from each team, and they will wind up turning into your pit equivalent or your dark pit. And then everybody will be rushing to try to either defend their person or attack and kill the other person. If you manage to knock out the other pit, then you manage to win. I can't say how many hours I managed to put up on this thing though. And since we're already, by the time this video actually comes out, we literally you only will have like days left to be able to play this on the online service, or at this point when you're watching the video, the online for all things 3DS might be shut down, so you won't actually be able to experience the online stuff at this point though. I don't know, as soon as I'm done with recording this video at some point, I'm definitely going to go back online and try to get another few rounds up in here though, because man, out of all the online experiences for the 3DS, I think this one was up there in terms of a really good quality experience. So please, Nintendo, bring this game over to the Switch or some other future generation console, because I want to play some more Kid Icarus Uprising. At least start off with a port, because I doubt that they're going to actually go through it and try to give us another new mainline entry for the game. At least that's what I'm thinking though, but I would love to be proven wrong, Nintendo. I would love it. I mean, get Sakurai back up on here, get a competent team, Bandai Namco, somebody over here to make this game. Gosh, man, please. But yeah, so I think that's basically gonna do it in terms of my collection reflection video for Kid Icarus Uprising. I could probably ramble about this game on and on for hours upon hours about this game if I want to get really down into the nitty gritty of every little thing that you can go through and experience within this phenomenal game, because nothing beat it in terms of this right here. I didn't have a lot of 3DS games growing up. I felt like when I was digging through my shoebox with all these different cases I have for this thing, I felt like maybe at most I might have had 20 games throughout the whole entire life cycle, and there's a lot of games out on that system though. But man, Kid Icarus Uprising, phenomenal franchise. Nintendo, please bring it back. But that's gonna basically do it in terms of today's video though. So if you really like this, make sure you hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. So remember y'all, until our video I make next, see y'all.